Starting off 2020 strong, aren't we? Hi, I'm Andre, and I have to explain Dolittle. This time with Robert Downey Jr. playing the role of Dolittle instead of Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's my Dolittle. Now, this is getting a lot of attention, of course, because this is the first major movie that Robert Downey Jr. is doing post Avengers Endgame. And it's also from Universal Pictures, who just 1 month earlier gave us Cats. Maybe stop making movies with animals. So this movie does a thing that I just hate, and that's give me a cool animated sequence that I wish was the entire movie. So this movie starts out with a prologue telling you all about Dr. Dolittle and his wife Lily and all the things they would do because he was able to talk to animals, so therefore he was able to help animals all over the world, even was the official animal person for the Queen. And it's all done in this really cool animated style that kind of looks like it's a book. It's just really nice. And the whole time I was watching it going, I know it's going to change eventually, but I would be totally fine with an entire movie like this. Don't do that to me. That's teasing. Your animation teases. But of course we go into live action, and of course Lily died. Went on some voyage to find some magical thing to be talked about later, and she died on the way there, a Frozen 2. So of course Dr. Dolittle is all like, I don't want to deal with people anymore. Closes his whole practice, closes his whole place. He's now just cooped up inside with a big giant beard. He kind of looks like Robin Williams when he came out of the game in Jumanji. And of course he has all his animal pals that are voiced by celebrity people. So if you're gonna have Iron Man, you gotta have Spider-Man there too. So Tom Holland plays a dog with glasses, by the way. Octavia Spencer plays Dab Dab. She is Dolittle's nurse duck. Apparently lost a leg because one of her legs is like a wooden leg, but she doesn't know what medical utensils are. So every time Dolittle asks for a medical utensil, she picks up a vegetable. Voiced by Oscar winner Octavia Spencer. You got John Cena, one of my favorite wrestlers, playing a polar bear, one of my favorite animals, named Yoshi, one of my favorite Nintendo characters. And he also says bro a lot. I don't know what time period this movie Dolittle takes place in, because you have so many characters in here who are speaking with a proper British accent, and then you have Robert Downey Jr. who's just making some kind of accent I don't even know where it's coming from. But then you get John Cena as Yoshi the bear, and he's just like, friendship, bro. And so I'm just like, what decade is this? There's an octopus at one point that says snitches get stitches. I don't know what year this takes place in. Anyway, let me stay on track. Emma Thompson is a parrot named Polly. Rami Malek is Chi-Chi, the gorilla, who is scared of everything. There's a couple of monkeys there because, you know, monkeys are funny. And also there's a lion cub that shows up a couple of times. When he pops up in the movie, which is only like once or twice, it's like an extreme close-up. I'm like, are you trying to show off? Is this your way of being like, oh, you think Disney's the only one that can make some CGI lines? Oh, and they kind of show you how the animal talking works, because early on in the film, Dr. Dolittle, Robert Downey Jr. is just making animal sounds, and they do a zoom in close up to the mouth, and then that's when it like morphs and change, and they all start speaking English so that we understand. Makes it very clear in the movie that what people are hearing when Dr. Dolittle is talking to the animals are straight up animal sounds. So I thought that was at least an interesting thing. I'm gonna give him the movie whatever I can, man. But anyway, enough of that. Let's cut to Stubbins. He is this boy who has a family who loves to hunt ducks. They go full Elmer Fudd, and he's all scared because he doesn't want to do it because he likes animals. He fakes like he's going to shoot a duck, but then by accident, by purposely not trying to shoot a duck, he shoots a squirrel. Voiced by Craig Robinson, Polly finds him somehow, and so she takes him to Dolittle. At the same time that this is happening, the Queen has fallen ill. The Queen's daughter decides that she's gonna go off and find Dolittle as well because she needs Dr. Dolittle to help bring her mother back to health before she dies. So both Stubbins and this girl, Lady J or Lady Rose, something like that, I forget, Lady something, end up with Dolittle, and he's like, I ain't helping none of y'all. But then when he sees the squirrel hurt, of course he goes into action and saves the squirrel. But then he's still like, I ain't helping the Queen, I'm staying here. And Lady Rose was all like, well, if you don't help the Queen and she dies, she's the one paying for this place. So when she dies, this whole thing gets shut down. And he's like, let's go. So all his animal friends go inside of the carriage that's being pulled by horses. Kumail Nanjiani comes up as an ostrich. Dolittle rides the ostrich, who doesn't like to be ridden on. And then the Stubbins, the boy, like sneaks in to follow them and pretends like he's his apprentice. You following all this? So they get to the queen, they check her out. She's on the bed like this. They got leeches all over her, and helping her supposedly to get better is Dr. Moodfly. And they make a whole joke about it because people call him Mudfly. And he's like, no, it's Moodfly. He's got the umlaut. And he's actually Dr. Dolittle's rival. Like, they went to school together, but Dolittle was always better than him in everything. And so he's always like held a grudge about it. He's like obsessed with beating Dolittle. They have the Tom Holland dog sniff and lick the queen and then sniff around. Finds out that the queen has somehow taken some poisonous thing that she ate or drank. So that's when Dr. Dolittle talks to a squid that's in the aquarium in the room, who is the squid that goes, snitches get stitches, and it's all written in text because they're underwater. Of course, logic, right? She drank some tea and then that's when she got sick. So, she was poisoned. Gee, I wonder who did it, as Jim Broadbent walks in as the second in command by her side, and who also apparently will take over the throne because the daughter's too young if the queen dies. So, gee, I wonder who did it. There is some magical fruit called the Eden fruit, and it's on this land that no one has ever been able to find. Now Dolittle has to go on this voyage. Moodfly is all like, I can't let that happen, and he's working for Lord something or whatever, Jim Broadbent's character. Broadbent's all like, you gotta follow him and make sure he doesn't come back because the queen needs to die so that I can take over. You know what? I just thought about something. Dolittle with an accent, going off on a magical quest to find something that no one has ever seen before. Moodfly, who is a rival of Dolittle, also has an accent, also going on the same quest, and it's this magical quest with a bunch of animals. Oh my gosh, this is an episode of DuckTales. This is seriously DuckTales. Dolittle is Scrooge McDuck. Moodfly is Flint Heart Glomgold. All the other animals are Huey, Dewey, Louie, Webby, Launchpad McQuack, Gyro, Gearloose, whoever you want to have them in there, Gizmo Duck. This is DuckTales, y'all. This whole thing is DuckTales. And they're going on a boat to sail away to find some magical thing that no one has ever found before. Take this entire plot, take it from the movie, and just make a 30-minute episode of DuckTales. So much better. Dr. Dolittle, knowing that there's probably some foul play here, leaves a stick bug behind to hide in a picture frame to be able to listen to all the conversations that take place between Broadbent and all his evil schemes. Because of course, they're having these conversations in the same room with the queen who they're trying to kill, who is dying. Makes perfect sense. So Stubbins is all like, I want to come with you, Dolittle, and be your apprentice on this adventure. And Dr. Dolittle's like, nah, man, you shot a squirrel. I don't trust you. Go home. So he goes home, but then Polly the parrot is like, no, you need to come with us. Follow me. And he's like, I can hear this talking animal. And she's like, nah, I'm a parrot. I can talk. Let's go. So she recruits a giraffe and a fox. The giraffe is voiced by Selena Gomez, and the fox is voiced by Marion Cotillard. And they help Stubbins race out of town to where Dr. Dolittle is sailing off to join him on the adventure. And I'm not joking, this is the best part of the movie. Because no one's really talking, there's not a lot of lame jokes, because this is the thing about this movie. If you saw the Eddie Murphy Dr. Dolittle movies, you know the lame jokes. I mean, like, I like that movie. There's always gonna be a heart in me, a heart in me for Dr. Dolittle, the Eddie Murphy version. But you know, them animal jokes, they had animal puns, they had those one-liners. So that's what's interesting about this movie, is it's trying to act like it's all regal and sophisticated, but the moment that they can, they throw in fart jokes, they throw in one-liners, they throw in animal puns. It almost feels like you're in a completely different time period, a completely different movie, but all the animals are still doing the Dr. Dolittle movie jokes from the Eddie Murphy era. Does that make sense? No, it shouldn't make sense, because this movie don't make sense. None of this makes sense. But I did enjoy a Selena Gomez giraffe and a Marion Cotillard fox, and the fox is on top of the giraffe holding the little giraffe antlers to control her Ratatouille style as she drives through. It's basically like a car sequence. It's like a car chase sequence, but with a giraffe. And the boy is holding on to the neck while people are chasing them, and then they run through out of here, and then they gotta throw him up in the air, and he lands in this little like contraption that's supposed to take things over to a boat, but it's falling off, so he lands on a sail and slides down onto the boat. There's not a lot of talking during this scene, and it's just all action, so I think that's why I liked it so much. Meanwhile, you got Moodfly following Dolittle and friends to try to stop him. Chi-Chi is all scared, and so he's afraid of what's going on when they get attacked, and their boat starts getting attacked, so they have to move faster. So then Dolittle and Yoshi, the polar bear, jump underwater. They build this contraption that's like a harness, and they call for a whale, and a whale puts on the harness and starts pushing the boat. And my favorite thing about this entire scene is on the other boat, Mootfly's boat, they're looking at all this happening. And Mootfly, of course, is like, what is going on here? But there is a guy that's standing beside him that basically explains everything that's happening, even though Mootfly keeps saying these rhetorical questions. Mootfly will be like, what is happening here? And the other guy will be like, well, clearly Dr. Dolittle created a harness that he put on a whale to make them move faster. And then Mootfly will be like, it's a rhetorical question. And he does it like 2 or 3 different times. This guy is literally the comment section. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Mootfly hates Dolittle, but yet keeps wanting to follow him and keeps wanting to best him and keeps wanting his acceptance of saying, I can be better than you one time. And then he goes in this other room with this black dude is working with him, and he's just like, I gotta get Dolittle. I gotta get that Dolittle. And the dude's like, I think you're obsessed with Dolittle. He's like, I'm not obsessed with Dolittle. You're obsessed with Dolittle because you're obsessed and I'm obsessed with Dolittle. I mean, what? And I'm like, oh, do you have a crush on Dolittle? And then you got Yoshi and the ostrich. Clifton, I think is the name of the ostrich. They're always rivals with each other because John Cena the bear is all like, what kind of bird are you, man? You can't fly, you can't swim. What do you do? And he's like, I run fast. He's like, I run. But of course, throughout time, they become friends. They become bros. They're like the Finn and Poe of this movie. And speaking of that, so Stubbins, the boy that goes on this adventure with Dolittle, come to find out that throughout the course of the journey, he is learning how to speak to the animals too. And Dolittle's like, how you know this? He's like, I'm just kind of picking it up because I really learned if you just listen to the animals, you can hear from their sounds what they're saying. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So a person that goes on this adventure gains a power and is able to do it through his own determination, as opposed to, you know, being related to Dr. Dolittle without having to be tied to any specific bloodline to do so. I mean, it'd be crazy. It was like, no, you can't do that unless you're Dr. Dolittle's grandson. That's interesting. So what Dr. Dolittle decides to do is travel to this land that's run by a pirate king played by Antonio Banderas. On this land is a journal that Lily had wrote that apparently might have some information of where to go to find this secret fruit. When he gets inside the lair to find this book, he recruits help from a dragonfly and also some mafia ants. Like, he goes up to these mob ants. Really, I'm seriously, like, they're like, ants, we need your help. And they're like, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. I'm serious. That is actually a line in the movie from the ants. At least the ants didn't have human faces like the cockroaches and cats. So I appreciate that at least. The head mob ant's daughter used to date the dragonfly, but then left the dragonfly for somebody else who's actually getting married. So the day of my daughter's wedding is not a joke. It's like a little thing that's happening. And then the dragonflies are like, what? Why did she go to someone else? And like, man, you dated for like 2 weeks. And besides, she doesn't like you. You're too goody two shoes. She likes the bad boys now. I'm like, okay, some extra side story for your animals. So then Stubbins and the dragonfly decide to go in together to grab the book because they're the smallest people / animals in the group to be able to fit this small door to get the book. Dragonflies are like, yeah, I need this because they don't think I'm bad enough. So you and me going in and get this book, you and I, and he literally, I'm not even joking, yo, he flies right up to the camera and looks straight in the camera. He's like, you and me are a couple of bad boys. You know, because Bad Boys is playing in the theater over there. You probably wish you were there instead of here. I could have seen Bad Boys for Life. I just realized that. I could have had a Bad Boys marathon over the weekend. Could have had a Bad Boys double feature and then gone to see Bad Boys for Life. Instead, I saw some Dolittle. God dang it, man. What am I doing with my life? They get caught, and then Dolittle has to fight this tiger, voiced by Ray Fiennes. And then that's when it's revealed that Antonio Banderas is actually Lily's father. So that's why he hated Dr. Dolittle, because he didn't understand why his daughter wanted to marry him. And then when she went off on her journey and died, he always blamed Dolittle for it. So he's like, if you ever come back here, I'm gonna kill you. So of course, by kill you, I mean put you in a jail cell where a jackrabbit kangaroo with an eye patch is gonna talk to you, and then a tiger is going to come and attack you. Oh, and the jackrabbit kangaroo is all like, are you scared, Dolittle? Did you make a little doo-doo? Oh, did the Dolittle do a little doo-doo? These are actual things that are said in the movie. This movie went through reshoots to add things like this. This was important. The tiger in this movie has emotional issues. His mother doesn't like him because he doesn't eat as many people as his brother or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the tiger gets hit in the balls. Chi-Chi the gorilla finally gets that stroke of bravery. He's like, what do I do when they're fighting each other? The movie goes in slow motion for characters to go, play dirty down there. And then slow motion shot of hitting the tiger in the balls. And the tiger's name is Barry. And I think he literally goes, my berry berries. That's Voldemort that just said that. Antonio Banderas takes Stubbins, and is all like putting pirate makeup on his face. I was like, you're one of us now, which now I'm like, are we in Hook all of a sudden? But of course, Stubbins is like, yeah, I'm cool with you. In the moment that Antonio turns around, he grabs that book, runs over to Dolittle, mood flap. He comes in, takes the book, destroys Dolittle's ship. They go off, and then an orangutan shows up and starts dancing around in front of them. And the orangutan has on a pirate hat and like little braids that kind of look like he's supposed to be maybe a reference to Captain Jack Sparrow, but it's so quick and it never happens again that I don't know. Antonio Banderas shows up, but he's all like, oh, you really love my daughter, because they gave some sad speech about how he felt bad too. It doesn't matter. So he's like, okay, I was going to kill you, but now I want you to go fulfill my daughter's quest because I love her more than I love to kill you. And he gives him a boat, but it's a rundown boat. Everything's kind of broken down. They pull off a sheet and there's a prisoner inside. He just goes, hi, I'm Jeff. He's just this random prisoner that's on the boat, and he never shows up again. So we get to the magical land. The fruit is in a cave, and Dolittle gets there just in time when Moonfly gets there. And Moonfly's all like, oh, look at Dolittle. You don't know what to do. I'm the one in charge now. And he walks up to Dolittle. He's like, hey, man, what you know what that fruit is? And Dolittle's like, I don't know. And Moonfly's like, oh, you don't? You really don't know? Then he all changes back again and is like, oh, look at you. How does it feel to be ignorant for once? And then Dolittle's all like, oh, it feels actually pretty freeing, quite refreshing. You must enjoy this a lot. Shade! I'm telling you, man, they're Scrooge and Flintheart. And then a dragon shows up. This cave / hidden magical fruit is guarded by a dragon, comes in, starts picking people up by the tail, burns one on fire off screen, and then right when she's about to attack Dolittle, she's all like, oh. So then Dolittle and company roll on her side, feel her stomach, and is like, oh, you're sick. You have a stomach ache. You must have blockage. We're gonna clear your blockage. So then Dolittle walks around to the butt side of this dragon, moves the tail up, goes in, goes in that ass, and starts pulling out skeletons, armor, at one point some bagpipes. It's all the people that this dragon has eaten, but some of the remnants of what the people were wearing or holding had been stuck in her stomach, and it was making her sick. Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, a respected actor, taking junk out of a dragon's butthole. Which then, of course, leads to a fart, and a big fart. You know that point in the trailer? Did you watch the second trailer where they do let you know that a dragon is in this movie? And when the dragon screams, they have that shot of Robert Downey Jr. having the air blown on him, and you're thinking it's from the dragon screaming. No, the dragon farts, and that shot where he's all like, oh, with the air blowing back, that's from the fart of the dragon. So now that the dragon's stomach is clear, colon is clear, she's happy now. And she's cool with Dr. Dolittle, so she's like, thanks for cleaning out my stuff. So therefore, I'll show you where the magical fruit is. Is there a lesson to be learned here? Why do I have to see these films? There could be so many other things I could be talking about. Can you just imagine? I am sitting in a theater. I'm sitting in a theater with money I paid to watch Robert Downey Jr. clean out the stomach and colon and intestines of a dragon. And then there's a giant fart and they think this is funny. How is Cats better than this? Cats is legitimately better than this movie, y'all. Oh my God. And it's crazy because look, the CGI and the animals, they look good. And yeah, Robert Downey Jr. has got a very weird accent, but everyone's trying their best. But you got animals talking and they don't sound like they're from the same time period as everyone else. And you can tell this thing has been chopped and edited and reshot so much. And they deliberately added these fart jokes and all this juvenile humor just to be like, hey, now the kids can go see it. Because I guess they figured we weren't going to see it. so that trailer that was all like, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It made it seem like it was going to be like this cool fantasy adventure. No. It's not. Watch the Eddie Murphy version. And I had to write all this stuff down because as detailed as I'm giving you the plot of this movie, I forgot like half of it as soon as I walked out the theater. I don't like to be mean to movies, man, but this one just, I don't get it. I'm like, why does this exist? What is the point? What were you hoping to do with this? What was the direction that this movie was supposed to be for it existing? I just don't get it. Oh yeah, they get home with the fruit and they save the queen and then everything's revealed. The stick bug's all like recorded them the whole time and goes, yeah, he's got whatever got her sick. It's in his right pocket and he actually has it in his pocket. Jim Broadbent's character is literally in his pocket in the room with the queen. They're just like, oh, here it is. And then there's this whole thing where they all like jump across guards and stuff to get the drop on her mouth and then she wakes up. And then, of course, Dolittle's happy again, and they open up the place again, and then the boy, Stubbins, becomes the apprentice, and now he knows how to talk to animals, too. They're not related, but he just knows how to do it. And he gets a kiss from the Lady Rose. And that's Dolittle. Oh, there's a song by Sia in the credits. So, you know, you got that, but you can just go to Spotify and listen to that, I guess. Okay, I might be overreacting a little bit. The movie is not the worst thing in the world. It's just, you watch it and it's one of those movies for me where I'm like, there was potential for this to be charming and sweet that had that fantastical element. It kind of has the framework of where that could happen. You actually have a nice epic looking film and yet the highlight of your movie is a dragon getting stuff taken out of its butt, which leads to a giant fart in the face of Robert Downey Jr. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. And a tiger getting hit in the nuts in slow motion. There's literally a part where a whale is waving at someone and they think that they're saying hi and he's like, they don't know, I'm flipping them off. And I'm just like, really? You go straight to the fart jokes. You go straight to the juvenile humor, which is fine. There are movies that do this all the time. I don't hate that. But why spend so much money to make that? You can do that same thing with a $30-40 million picture. You do not do that with like $180 million, you know? So that's what gets me about it. You know, is it the worst thing ever? No, but it's just like, the potential is so strong for this to have been something. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. And I would probably watch Cats again before seeing this movie, which I have seen 4 times because I freaking love Cats. This is what I'm talking about. So bad it's good is better than just bad lesson to be learned. This is why I can accept and enjoy Cats, not so much Dolittle, even though I wanted to. I tried. So anyway, that's Dolittle. I should have seen Bad Boys. I look forward to Sonic. Please, Sonic, do not have these things in your movie, please. They probably will. But I'll probably like it because it's Sonic. I can't help it, man. A hedgehog. I love you like a play cousin. I'm out 5,000. Bye.